Mike Bohn here on Fight Island in Abu Dhabi with Neil Magny, who headlines the January 20th event on Wednesday against Michael Chiesa. Neil, obviously a bit of an unexpected headliner, but Dana White saying the other day, you guys could not be more deserving of this position. How excited are you to have another main event in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. I mean, what makes it even better is hearing that Dana White said that we're deserving of it. I mean, with all the things that are going on in MMA now, and feel like you have to like talk crap and have hostility to build up a fight, that kind of thing. Be able to trust us to take the main event spot because you know we'll go out there and entertain the fans. I feel pretty honored to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So when they came to you with saying, it's going to be 3 to 5 rounds now, you're cool with all that stuff, right? We know you volunteered to take 5-round fights on like a week's notice. Yeah,
I've been ready to do 5 rounds since December 19th, and it just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. So when it finally came about that I was going to fight 5 rounds for January 20th, I didn't hesitate at all. I already was training for 5 rounds, was prepared for it, so it wasn't a big shift at all in my training camp.
Yeah, and when Khamzat Chimaev fell out of the main event against Neil Magny, or against Leon Edwards rather, I know Leon was kind of campaigning to fight either you or Mike. Mike told me the other day that he thought he was going to lose the fight with you because you were going to be bumped up. I mean, was there any discussion there on your end? Obviously, we know Leon and Khamzat are rebooked now for March 13th, so maybe they already had that plan in mind, but what was the process there? Was there any discussion?
There wasn't any discussion about it at all. Early on, like my coaches and a couple of training partners like, dude, you should jump on the Leon Edwards fight. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to like leave Mike hanging because one of us would be screwed out of the fight, whether it was me or Mike. One of us would end up not getting a fight. So I didn't want to push too much for the Leon fight. Ended up being the guy that potentially loses the fight or have Chiesa lose the fight. So I just kind of like, all right, we'll just go with it and see what happens. And fortunately decided to keep us on the card and bump us to the main event. So get to go out there and do our thing now.
Yeah, well, you're a good man for that. And obviously, the extra two rounds, you're probably more than prepared for that even anyways. But what do you do in those final weeks just to make sure 100% you're ready for potentially 25?
Oh, I push it. I mean, it was pretty cool. Like closing out the training camp, I made sure I had a fresh guy come in for the last 2 rounds just to know I can push the pace even later in the fight, regardless of how fresh my opponent may be. So I definitely feel more confident that I'm able to go 5 rounds if it goes that far. But I'm 100% confident in my training at this point.
How do you think this fight against Mike looks? When I spoke to him the other day, he's like, even if I'm able to beat Neil, it's not going to look pretty. Like, it's going to be tough, a gritty fight. Do you kind of feel the same way about Mike, or do you feel you can go in there and do something clean and impressive?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Mike's a tough, durable guy. He's currently undefeated at welterweight, so for me to think I'll have an easy fight or be able to end it early, I'd be wishing pretty high or set expectations pretty high, but I'm ready for whatever this fight brings our way, whether it's striking, whether it's grappling, whether it's wrestling. I'm ready to go all 5 rounds if it needs to with Mike Chiesa.
What do you think the difference in grappling style is between you guys?
Man, it's definitely intriguing. I mean, I know he likes to attack a lot of slick submissions, that kind of thing, where I tend to control and look for ground and pound. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out grappling-wise in this fight.
And obviously a win here, we know that closes in on the GSP record a little bit closer. It could be your 18th one. Are you feeling this could be the year where you not only tie that record, but maybe break it for yourself and be the first welterweight ever to get 20 UFC wins?
Absolutely, especially being in a fight early January like I am this year. It gives me 11 more months to go out there and fight some more. So I'm more than confident I'll be able to break this record from GSP and set a new high for it.
Yeah. Once you get the higher the level in the sport, the higher in the division, the fights kind of taper down in terms of the volume of them and how many you can get. But when you look at that 5-0 year you had, back-to-back years fighting 5 fights, do you want to do that again, or do you think that chapter of your career and doing that is kind of in the past at this point?
No, I'm looking forward to it. I hope I get another 5-0 year, 6-0 year even. I mean, I feel like I'm the guy to go out there and do it. I mean, I know there's 3 of us tied for 5-0 in a calendar year now between myself, Kevin Holland, and Roger Werther. So to be the guy that sets the record for 6 in a row, I mean, I'm more than willing and able to do that, I think.
So what do you think this fight means in the grand scheme of the welterweight division?
This fight is a great opportunity for me to move myself closer to that top 5 and get closer to a title shot. I mean, Mike Chiesa is a game opponent. He's ranked in the top 10. He's currently undefeated at welterweight, beat 3 real good guys so far. So I feel like a win over him definitely launched me to the top 5 of my division and puts me that much closer to a title shot.
Yeah, do you feel, it seems like those very top guys, the Masvidals, the Covingtons, like it's kind of hard, they're just fighting each other at the moment. Do you feel like right here this puts you in that conversation to get one of those guys, and maybe they don't want to fight someone like you quite yet, but you're going to have to force their hand, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like this is that fight for me to go out there and do that. I mean, I get an impressive win over Mike Chiesa. There's no avoiding me at that time. There's no maybe Neil needs to rank higher. I'll be right there in the top 5 with these guys, ready to scrap with them. So I feel like this just the perfect matchup to set that up in 2021.
And I loved your pitch about why you should be the comeback fighter of the year in 2020. Were you disappointed at all that I'll be honest, we had a serious discussion. We ended up giving it to, who we give it to, John? Do you remember? Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, do you feel that you should have got that, or do you think you had a good case?
No, at the end of the day, it's all fun and games. Like, it was just kind of my own mental way of relieving my pressure on myself, where I can be happy for other fighters regardless of what records they get or not get kind of thing, and then have to put myself in this bitter position like, oh man, I wish that were me, because no offense, whether it been you guys or whomever else that gave me that title for comeback fight of the year, life would have been the same with or without it. So to kind of relieve that stress or that pressure of like, oh, I need to get this, I need to get that, I kind of just gave it to myself and moved forward.
Well, you talk about comeback fighter of the year. With fighting so early this year, you talk about what could be ahead. Do you think fighter of the year is the bigger goal this year?
Absolutely, dude. I mean, right now the sky's the limit. I mean, I'm able to be whatever title you can possibly think of, I'm going for it this year. I mean, the one I'm looking for the most is UFC champion, but if I come up slightly short and get fight of the year, I'll take that and be ready to become champion 2022. There you go. There's a lot of twos.
And who do you think the man is? We obviously have this Usman and Burns fight coming up. Who do you think wins that one?
I think I think Usman takes that fight. I mean, it's just stylistically, I think he's able to go out there and control the fight. I mean, being a dominant wrestler, I feel like he gets to dictate where the fight goes and how it plays out. So I feel like this. I mean, I'm not expecting like fireworks out of this fight, but I definitely feel like he can go out there and control Gilbert Burns for 25 minutes.
And last thing, how do you beat Michael Chiesa on Wednesday?
I beat Michael Chiesa. I just put on a relentless pace. I mean, at this point, it's just I'd make it a gritty fight where he's kind of questioning, like, dude, why am I doing this? I have a great job with the UFC right now being a commentator. Why am I in there fighting these guys that are ready to like make these grueling fights on my body? I mean, I'd rather just go be a commentator than do this ever again. So that's the goal. Go out there, make it a gritty fight, make him question being in there.
Well, very much looking forward to that, Neil. Appreciate the time and best of luck.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.